Welcome. My name is Misty. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's practice is going to be kind of an all levels flow. I am going to add a little bit of arm balances and some challenging postures in this practice, but you listen to your body and you just do you. So whatever feels right for you. If you need to back off some, then you back off. If you want to challenge yourself more, then you challenge yourself more. You never want to feel pain in your practice. So just honor that. If you do feel pain in anything you do, you want to back out of it some or come out of it altogether. So feel free to use any props, blocks, or books or whatever you have around. When we come into Shavasana, you can play whatever kind of background music that you like, any kind of nice smelling cloth across the face if you like. It's up to you. This is your practice. I'm simply just guiding you through this flow, but it's your time on your mat. Okay? Today's practice is going to be kind of like a chakra flow. We're going to move through the 7 main chakras, and as we go through them, I'll bring awareness to them, what they are, and their names. If you're not familiar with chakras, they're energy wheels in our body. And we can become imbalanced with those depending on different things in our lives, our diet, what's going on in our life, past traumas, all those kinds of things. And so we're going to move through all 7 of them through this flow. Okay. All right. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and just get started. So get comfortable in a seated position. You could sit on any props that you like here. Again, blocks, blankets. You don't have to sit cross-legged. You can sit in any way that's comfortable for you. We're going to take a few moments just to drop into this space and to ground ourselves. So maybe you allow your eyes to gently close. If you'd rather have your eyes open, maybe you find a spot on the floor to gaze at softly. And just start to send that gaze inward. So as we take this time to ground ourselves, we're actually connecting to our first chakra, our root chakra, Malahara. And this is just connecting to our basic needs, knowing that we're supported, knowing that we're safe. So really feel that. Feel your seat connecting to your mat, to the ground. And know that in this space you are safe and that you are supported. Take a moment just to take a body scan. Take notice of how you're feeling today overall and honor that. Notice your breath and how your breath feels in this moment. Without judgment, without controlling anything at this very moment. Start to let yourself drop into your space. Maybe take notice of the sounds you hear. For me, I'm outside, so it's the sounds of nature, the birds. There's a slight breeze blowing, the sun on the skin. We tune into our senses, and it kind of takes us out of our thinking mind. It starts to allow us to come to the present moment. See if you can just start to let your thoughts float in and out like soft, wispy clouds. Maybe you've already started to notice how your breath has changed. When we take a moment to pause, we can start to breathe a little fuller into our bodies. Let's take a couple of cleansing breaths. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose, fill up your belly, pull the breath into the rib cage, and then into your chest. Exhale out of the mouth, fully let that breath release from the chest, the rib cage, and the belly. Breathe in, audible exhale out. And then sealing the lips and start to breathe in through both nostrils and out of both nostrils. This deeper breath. Maybe hearing the sound of your own breath like calm ocean waves, or like you're fogging up a mirror. This is your Ujjayi breath. Feeling the rise and fall of your belly and your chest. Start to allow the tongue to release from the roof of your mouth. Relax your shoulders. Allow the face to soften. Maybe your palms are face down on your lap for a little more grounding. And we're connecting to our first chakra, our root chakra, Malahara. On your next inhale, let's reach the arms up overhead, lift up out of the waist, lengthen through your spine, and then bringing the palms together, hands come through to your heart center. Feel your thumb knuckles toward the center of your chest. Let your chin drop slightly towards your chest. Maybe take a moment here if you like to set an intention for your practice today. If you don't have an intention at this very moment, maybe it will come to you throughout your practice. And let's take another cleansing breath. Deep breath in, fill up. Exhale, open the mouth, let it go. Feel the breath on your fingertips. Awesome. On your next inhale, let's scoop the arms back up overhead, lift up out of the waist. Bringing the palms back together, hands come through to your heart. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, reach up, lengthen out of the spine, or out of the waist. Lengthen through the spine, and hands to your heart. And then let's just place our palms face down on our lap for a moment, and let's just take some Sufi circles, spinal circles. I'm just going to circle our upper body in whichever direction you want to start in. Just noticing how that movement feels on your back. Maybe you start to notice a little tightness in the back. The shoulders nice and relaxed. And let's go ahead and switch the direction, going the other way. Got little critters climbing on my mat. And then we'll start to come back to the center. Awesome. And let's just roll our shoulders out a little bit. And then we'll let the chin drop down to the chest. Let the head be heavy. We'll let the head rock right and left a few times. Releasing the tension, tightness in the neck. And then start to bring your head back up, sitting nice and tall. Beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and make our way into a tabletop position. So rolling over onto your hands and knees. Now we're stacking our wrists underneath our shoulders, our knees underneath our hips. Hug the belly button in towards your spine. And we're going to take a few cat-cow movements. Breathing in, let your belly soften, lift your chest and eyes slightly. And exhale, press the mat away, round through your spine. Inhale, belly softens, lift the chest, the eyes, arching through your spine. And exhale, round. Go ahead, continue with a few more cat-cow movements. Feel free to invite any other movement here that feels good. Maybe start to circle the hips. Getting both directions, no matter what you do. Get both sides. You can stretch out your wrists, take C curves with your body. Continue with cat-cows. Just make it your own movement. And eventually we'll make our way back to our neutral tabletop. From here, we're going to take our left leg back behind us. We're going to flex the left foot, press that heel away, hug the belly button in. You could keep both hands down on the mat if you'd like, or start to reach that right arm forward. You could stay right here, or on your next exhale, hug the knee and elbow in toward each other. Inhale, extend out, and exhale, bring it in. Inhale, extend out. Exhale, bring it in. Hold it here. Take your right hand to your left shin. Hug it in towards your body, that left leg a little bit more. And then extend it back out. And tabletop position. Let's take our right leg back behind us. Flex the foot. Press the heel away. Lower that right hip in line with your left hip. Look towards the top of your mat. Hug your belly button in. Maybe reach that left arm forward. Inhale, you're lengthening. Exhale, draw everything in towards your center. Inhale, extend out. And exhale, bring it in. Inhale, extend out. Exhale, bring it in. Hold here. Left hand to right shin. Pull that knee in a little bit more. And release. And back into your tabletop position. Let's take a couple cat-cows. Just reset here. And then we'll make our way back into a neutral tabletop. All right, let's go into our first down dog. So with your down dog, you really want to think of gripping the mat a little bit with your fingertips here, pressing the knuckle mounds into the mat, taking that pressure out of your wrist. You want it all in your hands for the most part, right? Hug the belly button in, tuck the toes, and we're going to lift our hips towards the ceiling or the sky. Slight bend to your knees. Press your belly, your chest back towards your thighs. Let your head be heavy. Then maybe you pedal your feet here, sway the hips. Now, if you get lightheaded or dizzy here because your head is below your heart in this posture, you can come back to that tabletop position. Awesome. Let's just take a moment to be still in our down dog. Melt your heels down towards the mat, but it is okay if your heels don't come all the way to the mat. Just lift your hips a little bit more towards the sky. Press your belly, your chest back towards your thighs. And then we're going to inhale high onto our tippy toes and start to tiptoe to the top of the mat, coming into a standing forward fold. Feet about hip width apart or 2 fists width apart. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Marry your belly, your chest towards your thighs. Roll forward a little into the balls of the feet. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. Maybe you bind here, elbow to elbow, or bind behind your back. You could also let your arms just dangle like a rag doll. Sway a little side to side. You can shake out the head, yes and no. Just let gravity take over. And then we're going to come up halfway on your inhale. Lengthen through the spine, the neck. Hug the belly button in, shoulders out of the ears. And then exhale, release and fold. Again, inhale, halfway lift, lengthen here. And exhale, fold. We're going to slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Bring yourself all the way up into Tadasana, your mountain pose. Okay, make any little adjustments you need to with your clothes. Roll the shoulders back. Rock out the head. But then make your way into stillness and just feel your body here. Little bend to your knees. Hug the belly button in. Engage your glutes. Breathing in through the nose and out of the nose. So we're going to move through just a couple of sun salutations just to get the body moving and energized, wake it up, and then we'll get into our main flow. So on your inhale, let's reach the arms up overhead. Maybe you add a little baby back bend. If you like to cactus the arms here, you could. Inhale, reach, and then we're going back into that forward fold, hinging from your hip bones. Halfway lift on your inhale, exhale, fold. We're going to step back into a plank position. You could be on your toes, your knees, palms, or even your forearms here. Look towards the top of the mat. Really press the mat away. Press your heels to the back of your mat. Hold here for a moment. And then on your next inhale, you're going to shift forward, hug your elbows in. Let's lower our chest down between our hands. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Inhale, cobra pose. Let's start off with just a little baby cobra. Notice how it feels on your back. And exhale, lower. Again, inhale, lift for your cobra pose. And exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, just warming up that low back, shoulders back, lift your chest. And exhale, lower down. For this first one, we're going to press back into a child's pose. Big toes come together to touch. Knees could be wide or close together. We're reaching the hips back toward our heels. We're reaching our fingertips forward, and maybe your forehead rests on your mat or any of your props, or maybe it just hovers in space. And just breathe. Breathe in through the nose and out of the nose. And let's take a cleansing breath. Breathe in. Exhale out of the mouth. Let it go. And then let's make our way back into our down dog. Inhale high onto the tippy toes. Let's tiptoe to the top of our mat. Forward fold again. Roll forward into the balls of the feet a little bit. Lift your hips, engage your quads, press your knees back. Halfway lift on your inhale. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. Let's float the arms up overhead. Maybe that baby back bend. Maybe you cactus the arms. Inhale, reach. Back into our forward fold. Let's take a halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Step back into your plank position again. Hug the belly button in. Nice long spine. So strong. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to shift forward. You could lower down halfway, chaturanga, or all the way. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Up dog, the thighs are up off the mat. And then back into your down dog. You can always take a child's pose here if you like. Pause wherever you are and breathe. Let's inhale high onto our tippy toes. You're going to travel to the top of the mat, however you'd like to arrive there. Take a halfway lift on your inhale. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. Let's float the arms up overhead. Bring the palms together. Hands come to your heart. Just take a couple breaths here. Mountain pose, Tadasana. And on your next inhale, let's scoop the arms up. On your exhale, we're going to sit back, Utkatasana, chair pose. Now, big toes could come together to touch, or your feet could be about hip width apart. Press the hips back like you're sitting in a really low chair. Arms could be lifted or hands to your heart. Nice and strong here. Fierce pose. Feel very strong right here. You're warming up your major muscles. Let's take a breath in, breath out. And fold forward, let it go. Halfway lift on your inhale. Exhale, fold. Your choice. You can take that flow. You can come right into a down dog, and you can always take a child's pose. I'm going to take the flow, and we'll meet together in down dog. On your next inhale, right leg's going to lift high. Let's bend the right leg. Open up through that right hip. Scorpion tail. Then hug that right knee in towards your belly button, knee to nose. And back up 3-point. We're going to look forward, step or help your right foot up between your hands. You want to stack your right knee over your ankle. Okay? You're in a runner's lunge at this moment. Hands are framing that right foot. Press your left heel towards the back of the mat. Then we're going to come up warrior two. So I'm going to root down through that back foot, windmill my arms open. Okay. So you might pigeon toe that left big toe in a little bit. We're working on stacking that right knee over our ankle, making a 90-degree angle with our right leg. Okay. So we're opening up through the hips. Warrior two is an open hip posture. We've moved to our second chakra, Savadhisthana. This is about creativity. Right? This is our sacral chakra. Okay? So just relax your shoulders and we'll focus on some open hip postures here. Let's flip our right palm up and over. Peaceful warrior. Let that left hand slide down that left leg. Lower your left hip down and forward a little bit more. And we're going to come into our side angle. Right arm on that right thigh, along the inside of that right leg. Left arm maybe reaching up towards the sky, over your ear, or another option, hand to your hip if it bothers your shoulder. Right? I'm going to look up towards the lifted hand. I'm not dumping all my weight into that right side. I'm lifting up through the left side. Keep lowering the left hip down and forward. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Engage your glutes and your core. We're going to go back into peaceful warrior. Inhale. Straighten your front leg. We're now going to go into triangle. Take your arms out like a T. Both legs are straight. Reach that right arm forward a little bit. Bring that right hand down. Lean back a little bit, like you have an imaginary wall behind you. Maybe look up towards that lifted hand. Let's bend back into that front leg. Come back up, warrior two. From here, we're going to go into goddess. So we're going to take the toes out, heels in. Cactus your arms or hands to your heart. Let's lower the hips down, press the knees away. Hold here for a moment. Just feel nice and strong right here. Then we're going to place our hands at our inner thighs and let's dip our left shoulder down, look over your right. And then let's dip the right and look over the left. Let's do that again. Dip the left, look over your right. Dip the right, look over your left. Now let's come back to our goddess pose. Take a breath in, breath out. Okay, 5-pointed star. Okay, rotate both feet to face forward like the number 11. Now we're going to go into Skandasana, to the back of our mat, a lateral lunge. I'm going to bring my hands to my heart, start to bend into that left leg, straighten the right leg. Now you can have your hands down on your mat or a block or book, or keep the hands at your heart. Feeling that inner thigh stretch right here. Okay, breathe. Awesome. We're going to come around to the back of our mat, low lunge. We're going to lower the right knee down, sink the hips down and forward. Now when we do this, so we don't want to be right on that right kneecap. So you're coming toward that right thigh. Your left knee, if it's going over your toes, you want to shift your left foot forward a little bit. Now keep the hands down for right now. What we're going to do is just floss back and forth. Half split, low lunge. This is a neutral hip pose. We've moved up to our third chakra, Manipura, our solar plexus, where our confidence, our self-esteem, our power is located. Okay. And then we're going to keep the bend in that front leg. Hands might stay down on the mat. Hands might come to your thigh. Maybe you reach those arms up. Keep pressing that left hip back, right hip forward, and keep sinking the hips down and forward. Relax your shoulders. Awesome. Let's take a breath in, breath out, plant the hands, shift the hips back, half split. Great place for blocks or books for your hands. Flex the toes towards the face. Press the heel away. Press that left hip back. Reach your chin towards your shin. Then we're going to bend back into that front leg. Warrior one. Root down through that back foot. We're going to start to bring ourselves up. So in warrior one, our feet are like they're on railroad tracks. There's some space between them, some width between them. We're bending into that left leg. Press that left hip back. Maybe those arms reach up. Shoulders are stacked over your hips. Right? Breathe. Take a breath in. Breath out. Now let's bring our hands back behind us. Let's find a bind. Either interlace your fingers or squeeze your palms together. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Reach the palms down, maybe a little baby back bend. Now lower your right hip down and forward a little bit more. Humble warrior, folding forward. Arms lift up any amount wherever your mobility is. Working that left shoulder towards the inside of your left knee. Keep rooting down through your feet and pressing that left hip back. And then we're going to release the hands down and take a revolve side angle. Right hand is down. I'm going to pivot onto the ball of the right foot. I'm going to reach that left arm up. Press that left hip back. And then bringing that left hand down. I'm going to step my right foot up to meet my left. Forward fold. Let's take a halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. Let's float the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands come to the heart center. Let's just take a moment here and breathe. Breathe in through the nose and out of the nose. On your next inhale, let's scoop the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward, let it go. Halfway lift on your inhale. Exhale, fold. From here, you could take your flow. You could take a child's pose. You could come right into down dog. I'm going to take that flow. Plank, then lower down halfway or all the way. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And then back into your down dog. Let's inhale the left leg up. Bend the left leg. Open up through that left hip. And then we're going to draw that left knee in toward our belly button, knee to nose. Press the mat away. Back up, 3-point. Work that left foot to the top of your mat in between your hands. Okay. Hold for a moment in your runner's lunge. Relax your shoulders. Okay. Then we're going to root down through that back foot. We're going to open up for warrior two. My left heel lines up with the middle of my back foot. I'm going to pigeon toe that right big toe in. Bending into that left leg, trying to get a 90-degree angle in that left leg, making sure that knee's not over the toes. Gaze is soft over that front middle finger. Remember, this is our second chakra right here, open hip. Peaceful warrior, left arm up and over. Lower the right hip down and forward. Let's come into our side angle again. Keeping that bend in that front leg. Root down through the knife edge of that back foot. Press your left knee away. Back into peaceful. We're going to straighten that front leg, straight-legged peaceful. Coming into triangle, Trikonasana. Stacking your right shoulder on top of your left. Maybe looking up towards the lifted hand. Relax your shoulders. Bending back into your front leg, come back, warrior two. All right, let's go into our goddess again. Open hips still. Toes are out, heels are in. Pressing your knees towards your pinky toes, lower the hips. You can cactus the arms or hands to your heart. Squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other. Maybe lower those hips just a little bit more. If you want to play around with this, maybe lift one heel and lower, lift the other and lower. You can go back and forth. You can lift both heels or no heels at all. Right? Hold where you are for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the heels. 5-pointed star. Inhale. Both feet face forward like the number 11. Hands come to your heart center. We're going to take Skandasana back to the front of our mat. I'm going to bend into that right leg, straighten the left. Hands at your heart, the mat or block, or if you have a different variation here, you can always take it. Breathe through that sensation you might feel. No pain. Pain is different than discomfort. We're going to come around to the front of our mat for that low lunge. So your right foot is forward. Lower the left knee down. Sink the hips down and forward. Make sure that right knee is not going over your toes. If it is, shift your right foot forward. Keeping the hands down, we're going to do that flossing motion. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half split, rocking back and forth. We're back into that neutral hip, third chakra. Right. Solar plexus, Manipura. Right. Our confidence, our self-esteem, our power. Right. The next time we come forward, we're going to stay forward. Hands could be on the mat, your thigh, or maybe those arms reach up. Press your right hip back a little bit. Keep sinking the hips down and forward. And you can always have your hands at your heart if you like as well. Okay. Breathe in, breathe out. Plant the hands, half split, shift the hips back, flex your right toes towards your face, press that right hip back, chin towards your shin. And then we're going into Warrior One, Virabhadrasana 1. Neutral hip. Both hips and shoulders are facing forward. Think of your shoulders like your headlights in your car for Warrior One. Root down through the knife edge of that back foot. Wrap your left hip around to the front and press your right hip back. Right, we're going to find that bind again with the opposite thumb on top. Reach the palms down, maybe a little baby back bend. And then humble warrior, folding forward. Working that right shoulder towards the inside of that right knee. Press your right hip back. Revolve side angle, left hand comes down. Come up onto the ball of the left foot. Let's twist open towards that right leg. Hug your right knee in towards your belly button. Right hand comes down. Step the left foot up to meet your right. Forward fold. Halfway lift on your inhale. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. Let's float the arms up overhead. Hands come to your heart center. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. Let it go. So from here, we're going to take Malasana, or a yoga squat. So Malasana, we're opening up through the inner thighs and the hips. So that's kind of like our second chakra, right? Then I'm going to add crow into it, which is working our solar plexus, our strength. So that goes into our third chakra, right? So we're going to take our feet as wide as the short end of the mat. Toes are off the mat, heels are in. You can always take this wherever. You might not go down as far. Maybe you sit on a prop here if you'd like. I'm going to think of the spine against an imaginary wall. I'm going to start to slide down that imaginary wall. Knees come to the inner thighs. I'm going to press the inner thighs against the elbows. Did I say knees? No. Elbows against the inner thighs. So we're pressing the inner thighs against the elbows against the inner thighs so we don't collapse into this. Chest is lifted. You could stay right here. If you would like to come into crow, I'm going to bring the hands down. I'm going to walk my feet in just a little bit more, right? I'm going to look towards the top of my mat. I'm going to continue to look forward because I'm going forward. You can always place a block here or a book to support your head if you're kind of worried about falling forward, but you're not really going to fall very far if you do fall forward, right? So I'm walking my hands out. I'm going to look forward. I'm going to bring my knees to my triceps, looking forward, core is engaged. Might start with lifting one foot and then the other foot. Okay. And that's crow. So you can take a moment, play with that. If you're in that yoga squat, if you can hold it for a few more breaths, we'll stay right here. If you have any questions about that crow pose, always feel free to reach out to me and I can walk you through that. Okay, let's take a breath in, breath out. Plant the hands, lift the hips, and shake it all out. Let all that go. I'm going to walk our feet in a little closer together, about hip width apart. Halfway lift on your inhale. Exhale, fold. We're going to meet back in down dog, however you'd like to get there. Right, inhale your right leg up towards the ceiling or sky. Bend that right leg. Maybe you flip your dog here, lifting your hips, your heart. And then bring that right leg back up, 3-point. I'm going to pull the knee in towards the belly button, knee to nose. Back up, 3-point. Stepping that right foot forward, open up, warrior 2. And make sure that knee's not over your toes. We're stacking it over our ankle. Peaceful warrior. Now maybe you add a half bind here with that left arm. Lower your left hip down and forward. And we're going to come into side angle. Now, you can take any variations here. I'm going to walk you through half, full bind, and bird of paradise. Right, so maybe you have a half bind. Left arm comes around your low back, left fingertips hooking to that right thigh. That's your half bind. Right arm from the front comes around. It stays at the thigh. I can hook my fingertips. That's a full bind. If you have that full bind, you can start to walk your left foot up to meet your right. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, I'm going to keep my core engaged. Start to straighten my left leg, maybe. I don't know, it might not work today. Come up, maybe straighten that right leg. Bird of paradise. It's a little bit of a struggle today. But that's bird of paradise, but you want to get the full bind first. Right? All right, let's come back into warrior 2. I can walk you through that another time through a shorter segment of, and just focus on bird of paradise. All right, let's go back into peaceful. Let's straighten the front leg. Triangle pose. Right arm comes down, left arm reaches up. All right, from our triangle, you can stay right here, or we're going to go into half moon. Half moon, you could always have a block for your hand. If you're using a block, place it a couple inches above your right pinky toe. When we come up, we want our shoulder and wrist making one straight line. So what I'm going to do is put a slight bend to my right knee. Press off with that back foot, right toes pointing towards the top of the mat. I'm stacking the left hip on top of the right, the left shoulder on top of the right shoulder. Your hand might come down to the mat. A block, maybe it hovers. Keep that core engaged. Focus on your breath. My focal point is down at the mat, but if you want to challenge yourself, start to change your glance. Maybe you start to look up towards the sky. And then we're going to slowly lower back into warrior 2. Take a breath in and a breath out. Awesome. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to take this right arm up and over for peaceful. This time we're going to go right into revolve side angle to the back of our mat. Right hand comes down. I'm going to open up towards that left leg. Okay, you can stay right here in revolve side angle. Maybe you come in to a side plank. You can stack your feet. You can scissor your feet. You could kickstand the right leg. Left leg goes out to the side, no higher than your hip. You can even go deeper into this and lift your top leg or tree or whatever you want to do here. Then we're going to close it off, come into your plank, hold here, breathe, and then take your flow here if you like, or press right into down dog or a child's pose. Breathe. Breathe in through the nose and out of the nose. All right. We're going to inhale our left leg up. Bend the left leg, stay there, or maybe flip your dog. Then we're going to bring that left leg back up, 3-point. Pull the knee in towards the belly button, knee to nose. Back up, 3-point. Working that left foot up between our hands, stacking that left knee over our ankle. And of course, just breathe. And then warrior 2. We're going to open up. Nice and strong here. Peaceful warrior. All right, lower that right hip down and forward. Coming into our side angle. Maybe you add that half bind. Rotate that right shoulder back. See if you can hook your right fingertips to that right thigh or left thigh. Maybe left arm around the front and at your thigh, right? Not any further, right at your thigh. Find that bind. Okay, so my arm is kind of right underneath my left knee. I can hook my fingertips. So I'm going to move forward into this. Bird of paradise. I'm going to walk my right foot up. I'm going to keep that bind. Root down through the right foot. Straighten the right leg. Come up. And then if you can extend your left leg, go ahead. Today I can't extend that left leg, so I'm going to stay right here. Okay. Then you're going to lower down. Come back into your warrior 2 and hold there for a moment. Breathe. Peaceful warrior. Inhale. Straighten your front leg. Triangle pose. Trikonasana. Stacking your shoulders. Stay here or that half moon. So I'm going to be a little bend to that left knee. I'm going to press off that back foot. I might bring my left hand to the block or the mat or just hover it. Right leg, no higher than your hip. Keep the core engaged. Stack your right hip on top of your left, your right shoulder on top of your left shoulder. Keep your left toes pointed toward the top of the mat. And then we're going to lower down back into our warrior 2. So that standing foot, when we go into that half moon, sometimes wants to move because we're trying to compensate and work on that balance with that. But you want to keep your toes pointed directly to the top of the mat. You don't want to be twisting your foot and ankle. Okay. So back into your warrior 2. Left arm up and over like peaceful, but we're going to continue to take it around to the back, or front as rather, revolve side angle. Stay here, or side plank, your variation of a side plank. Your left shoulder stacked over your left wrist. Breathe. Maybe you lift that top leg, maybe a tree or something. Then we're going to come back into a plank position. Your plank, hold your plank. On your next inhale, shift forward. You can lower all the way down or halfway. Inhale, cobra or up dog. We're going to go into a child's pose here. Reach your hips back and take a moment to connect back with your breath. Breathing in through the nose, out of the nose, just staying in your child's pose. Let the tongue release from the roof of the mouth. Let your heart rate come down if it was up, if it was elevated a bit. Maybe gently take the forehead side to side, massage the forehead. And let's take a cleansing breath. Deep breath in. Open the mouth, exhale. Let it go. Okay. We're going to come back into our down dog. Okay. Now, we're going to inhale high onto our toes. We're going to roll back out into our plank. And on the count of 5, we're going to slowly lower down on that count of 5. So hug the elbows in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're just going to do a couple of back bends while we're here. So the back bends, we're going to be opening up through our heart. We're stretching our back as well. We're strengthening our back, but we're going to be lifting through our chest and heart opener here. So this is connected to our fourth chakra, anahata, unstruck sound, right? Anahata, and it's our heart area, our heart space, connected to, of course, love, forgiveness, empathy, compassion, and not just for others, but for ourselves as well. Okay, that's just as important. We're going to start with locust pose. We're going to bring our arms down by our side, palms face down. Maybe your feet come together, heels and toes touch, or keep them hip width apart. Press the toenails in, chin on the mat. Engage your glutes, engage your core. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the arms, lift the legs. Okay, squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other. Look down and slightly forward. Keep the neck in line with your spine, your head in line with the rest of your spine. Inhale, lift up a little bit more. We're balancing on the hip points. And then exhale, lower down and just rest on an ear. All right, let's bring our chin back to the mat. And I did fail to mention, I'm sorry about that. So not only our heart, but our throat as well. So our throat chakra, Vishuddha. So a lot of times back bends, they're both kind of connected, your throat and your heart. So the throat chakra, Vishuddha, is connected to our right to speak, knowing that we have a voice, we can share our voice. But also the right to listen to others and let them speak as well. Okay. All right, so we're going to take one more. Now, you could bind your hands like we did in Humble Warrior, or you can keep the arms down by your side. Right? Heels and toes come together to touch or hip width apart. I'm going to bind my hands. On your inhale, lift the chest, lift the arms wherever your mobility is, and lift the legs. Balancing on those hip points, keep your gaze down and slightly forward. Keep reaching and lifting up. Breathe and change. Lower down. Rest on the other ear. And maybe just windshield wiper the legs a little side to side. And then I'm going to press back into a closed knee child's pose. So keep your knees together. Reach your hips back. Reach your fingertips forward. Just kind of stretching out the back. A little bit of rounding here when we have our knees together. And then we'll roll up and take a couple cat-cows just to reset here. All right, so we've moved through our first chakra, our root chakra, Muladhara, our second chakra, our creative chakra, Savadasthana, our third chakra, Manipura, our solar plexus, our fourth chakra, Anahata, our heart, our fifth chakra, our throat, Vishuddha. Now, we're going to start to go into some kind of seated forward folds, and that's going to connect here to our third eye, Ajna, okay, where our wisdom and our intuition is located. So let's go back into our down dog. We're going to be going into pigeon pose, okay? So I'm going to inhale the right leg up and bring that right leg through. The right knee is going over to the edge of the mat. I want my right knee past my right hip. So when I fold forward, I'm folding over my right ankle or my foot or my shin. Now, you might be able to parallel that right shin with the top of your mat, but if not, that's okay. I'm not able to do that. Right? So my right foot it's not under me. It's kind of still out here, but it's not parallel. I'm flexing the right toes. The left leg is directly back behind me, not splaying too far to the left or right. Okay. I'm gonna let those hips kind of settle, and then I'm gonna fold forward. Maybe my forehead rests on the mat, my hands, or a block here or a blanket. Now, if this is really not accessible for you, it's causing you some pain, you can come onto your back and you can cross your right leg over your left, pressing that right inner thigh away, or even interlacing your hands behind that left thigh. You're going to keep your head and shoulders down on the mat. So this is another variation. And take a few breaths. Try to relax the body, relax your glutes, relax your jaw. Let the tongue release from the roof of the mouth. Just take a breath in and breath out. And then we'll slowly start to come back up. And we're going to take that left leg. We're going to bring it around and extend it towards the top left corner of our mat and tucking that right foot in towards your left inner thigh. Okay. Now, if that's not accessible to you, you can always take a different variation with that right leg. You could even place a blanket or a block underneath that right leg if you need some support for it. We're going to inhale the arms up overhead, forehead to knee as we fold over that left leg. Again, ajna, right? Our sixth chakra. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw. Flex your toes towards your face and press the heel away. Focus on those nice breaths in and out, helping to calm our nervous system. And we're going to slowly bring ourselves back up. If you want to take one more flow, you can. We'll meet back in down dog to take pigeon on the left side. So I am going to go through one more flow. You don't have to. You can go right into your pigeon on the left side, whether it's on your back or your belly. Again, just making sure if you're on your belly, make sure that knee is kind of going over to the edge of your mat, that you're not folding. So your belly button shouldn't be at your left knee. Okay. And then you just kind of settle in, let those hips settle. You can always place, I apologize, I didn't say about the other side, but you can always place a blanket or a block underneath that left hip if you'd like. Let the tongue release from the roof of your mouth. Relax your shoulders. Let's take a breath in and breath out. And you're going to start to bring yourself back up. And we're going to bring that right leg around toward the top right corner of your mat. Bring the sole of the left foot against your right inner thigh, or whatever variation works for you. Let's inhale the arms up and then folding over that right leg. You can bend that right knee as much as you need to. Think of bringing your forehead towards your knee. Flex the toes towards your knee and press that heel away. Relax your shoulders. let's slowly bring ourselves back up. So, all right, we're going to extend both legs out in front of us, and we're going to start to lower down onto our back. Use your core. Flex your feet, and just slowly roll all the way down. And then drawing the knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice little hug. Rock a little side to side. And then we're going to bring our legs into a reverse tabletop position. Arms out like a T, or maybe you cactus arms. We're going into a supine twist. Letting your legs fall right or left. It doesn't matter. I'm going to let mine fall to the right. And then I'm going to turn my head and look towards the left. So you're just turning your head the opposite direction your legs are going for that stretch through your neck. Just relax your shoulders. And bringing the legs back up into that reverse tabletop. Send your gaze back towards the sky. And then let your legs come over to the left as you turn your head and look towards the right. And we're going to bring our legs back to center. And then from here, any kind of inversion, just getting your feet above your head and heart. You can take your legs straight up towards the sky, maybe a happy baby. Hands come to the outside or inside of your feet, and you're pulling your knees down towards your armpits, melting your sacrum down towards the mat. And you could sway a little side to side. Maybe you have a shoulder stand you want to do, or headstand, or anything like that. Whatever you need before we come into Shavasana. Right. And as you're taking a couple moments here to take any last little bit of movement and postures you'd like. So Shavasana, that means corpse pose. And we go into that and we find stillness and we let our bodies rest, but it's also allowing our bodies to kind of take in our practice today. Everything that we've done in our practice leads up to this posture. This is so important, right? This posture is just as important, if not more important, than everything you just did. You can be on your back, you could be seated, you can use any props to get comfortable, play some music, whatever you need. I'm going to be guiding us into it, and I'll have us in it a couple of moments, and you can always stay in it longer. 5 to 10 minutes is a really great Shavasana. So if you want, set alarm or something and just rest for that long. Right? So when I do start to guide us out of it, you do not need to come out of it unless you're ready. Right? Shavasana connects to our 7th chakra, our crown chakra, right above our head. Sahasrara. I always say it wrong, so I apologize. Enlightenment. When we're done with our practice and when we come out of Shavasana, there's this different feeling about us, our bodies and our minds. It's just this feeling of maybe bliss, peace, calm. So that connects to our 7th chakra. Right. So when you're ready, find your position to come into Shavasana. Right. So get nice and comfortable. And let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth. Exhale. Let it go. Feel your shoulders melt towards your mat. Relax your fingers, your toes. Let the tongue release from the roof of your mouth. Just let your breath happen. There's nothing you need to do in this moment. Just let yourself just be. taking as long as you would like in Shavasana. But if you are ready to come out, you're just going to start with your breath. You want to start to tune back into your breath, start to deepen your breath, your inhales and your exhales. Be aware of the rise and fall of your belly and your chest. Start to bring some movement to your fingers and your toes. Rotating your wrist and your ankles. Gently rocking your head side to side. Just whatever movement feels good as you start to bring yourself back to your space and your day. You can take a full body stretch and a yawn. Drawing the knees in towards your chest, maybe rock a little side to side. If you like, you can roll to your right or left side. The left side connects more to that cooling, the moon, the feminine. The right connects more to the masculine, the sun, the power. And there's no right or wrong to either one of those. When you're ready, gently bring yourself up into your seated position. Maybe the eyes remain closed. And just take notice. Take notice of how you feel in this moment. On your next inhale, let's scoop the arms up overhead. Bring our palms together and hands to the heart, Anjali Mudra. Just take a moment here to honor your practice. Maybe even thank yourself for making sure you carved this time out for you today. It's not always easy to do that, but you did that. We'll take one more cleansing breath, deepest one yet. Breathe in all the way to the top. And when you feel like you can't breathe in any more air, I want you to sip in just a little bit more. And then audible exhale out. Let it all go. Thank you for sharing your practice today and for showing up on your mat. The light in me honors and loves and respects the light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining in. If you enjoyed this practice, you can hit that subscribe button. I'll be putting more videos on. There'll be a variety of chair, gentle, all levels, maybe more like power classes, short segments to go through different postures, just like that half moon or bird of paradise or crow, so that you can really focus on certain aspects of your practice that you would like to focus on. Feel free to reach out with any questions, comments, certain things that you would like to see in your practice and that you'd like me to walk you through. Thank you for showing up. I'm really excited about this. I'm very passionate about yoga and how it affects us and our bodies and our minds and the benefits of it. So no matter why you show up on your mat, you're receiving the benefits of this practice and you're receiving exactly what you need. Thank you all for sharing. Namaste.